What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I want to give my final thoughts about today's game against our Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I appreciate you guys continuing to tune into the channel. But as always, let's jump right into the video. So, as I mentioned, today is game day. It is Rivalry Sunday. You guys know the vibes. I want to give you guys my last final thoughts before today's game. Things to look for and some keys to this game. And these are going to be keys for our Atlanta Falcons. First key in this game, we must tackle well. Our Atlanta Falcons on defense. The Saints are a team that likes to get the ball out fast and get the ball into the playmakers' hands, like their wide receivers and their running backs, Alvin Kamara, out the backfield. They like to run a lot of trick plays, reverses, and things of that nature. So in this game, we have to be prepared for anything, but we have to tackle well. We can't allow a bunch of yak yardage. If you look at Drew Brees' stats, you would think that he's thrown for a ton of yards, and it was because he's been pushing the ball down the field. But that isn't the case. A lot of his yardage has come from Alvin Kamara, who is actually leading their team in receiving yards. I believe he has over 600 yards receiving, and I think about 400 to 500 yards rushing. So he has combined already like over 1,000 yards or close to 1,000 yards in all-purpose yards between him rushing the ball and him receiving the ball. So in this game, it's going to be very important for our Atlanta Falcons to tackle well in the open space. We've done a great job since Raheem Morris have taken over. I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed on the defensive side of the ball is we've done a great job at tackling. When Dan Quinn was here, it was a ton of missed tackles when we were playing that soft zone coverage. And if you're going to play soft zone, you better tackle well, because the whole purpose of playing a cover 3 is to keep everything in front of you and gang tackle. And we didn't do a good job early in the season when we started 0-5. We didn't do a good job of tackling. We didn't do a good job of taking angles. The safeties didn't do a good job of taking angles on defenders. We didn't do a good job of tackling. So that's my first thing. We must tackle well in this game. Fundamental football. We must wrap and roll is what Dan Quinn was teaching with these guys. But since Raheem Morris has taken over, I've been seeing some great tackling, not just from the front seven, but also from the defensive backs. Isaiah Oliver has done a great job. Mad Mike did a breakdown on Isaiah Oliver and on AJ Terrell. You guys definitely go check that out on AFN. But in the video, he showed the physicality of an Isaiah Oliver, the physicality of AJ Terrell. So these guys are not only good coverage guys or good cover corners, but in this league, you have to be able to do it all. Not only be able to cover, but be able to get the guy on the ground once they catch the ball, because you're not going to stop these guys with the rules the way they are today. It's pretty much impossible to limit receivers from getting catches. So they're going to catch the football. You just have to do a good job of tackling them before they get to the sticks. So it's going to be very important in this game that we gang tackle. If we're in a one-on-one situation, especially out in space, because Alvin Kamara is one of those guys that's very elusive in the open field, and Taysom Hill is another guy at that quarterback position that's explosive. Yes, he plays quarterback, but he's an athlete. He's really explosive. I know we joke a lot about calling him Tim Tebow and stuff like that, but this guy is a lot more explosive than a Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was more of a straight line runner. Taysom Hill is one of those guys that's very powerful. It's a reason why they played this guy at tight end, wide receiver, and running back. He's one of those guys that's explosive and that can break tackles. So we definitely have to keep good leverage when we come in for tackles in this game. No just throwing the shoulder and, trying to make the big hit. But we have to wrap up on these guys, or it's going to be a ton of yardage after catch and yak yardage. Number 2 in this game, we must feed Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Hayden Hurst. These guys have to touch the ball. But in crucial situations, like in a 4th down situation or in a crucial situation in the red zone, we must find Julio Jones. Julio Jones is a guy that can't be stopped. I do think that Julio Jones is a nuclear weapon. He's one of those guys that nobody in the league can do what he does. at his peak. I think Julio Jones is just an unstoppable force. Even if they try to use, some coverage where he has somebody bracketing him, it's very important in this game that we still find number 11, because since he's been back from injury, if you remember early in the season, Julio Jones was injured. But when he's come back from injury, he's been a beast. He's been one of those guys that's been unstoppable. If you remember in that Carolina game on that Thursday night, the second game we played against Carolina, Julio Jones basically just took the game over. They couldn't stop him. So in this game, we must feed Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, also Hayden Hurst. He's one of those guys I think could also be an X factor in this game, just for the mere fact that Demario Davis and Quan Alexander, they're not the best in coverage. I'm not too sure if Quan Alexander's going to play in this game because he's just joined their team a couple weeks ago. But in this game, it's going to be very important that we get Hayden Hurst involved. He's another guy that's very good and very explosive, like a wide receiver. Even though he plays that tight end role, I think we need to take advantage of his skill set, his explosiveness. We need to use him up the seam. As we know, the safeties, the kid, I think his name is Marcus Williams for the Saints, he's not the best in coverage. So we definitely need to try to single him out and try to expose him. Malcolm Jenkins, he is a wise, savvy veteran. But I do think even if he's trying to cover Hayden Hurst, that's a mismatch, because Malcolm Jenkins is getting up there in age. Yes, he's one of those guys that's a veteran. Yes, he's one of the smarter safeties in the game. But I do think that Hayden Hurst has the advantage on whoever they try to match up on him. So I definitely would try to take advantage of Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Hayden Hurst. Those are the three guys I think that Matt Ryan should be targeting in this game. Those guys are all special talents, especially Calvin Ridley. He's another guy on our team that's leading the Falcons in receiving yards this season. I believe he has almost 700 receiving yards and about either 6 to 8 touchdowns. I know he's in that 6 touchdown range, but he's also leading the team as far as receiving touchdowns. So we must get Calvin Ridley involved in this game as well. And my third key in this game is going to be a phrase, and the phrase is "do your job." In this game, it's going to be very important that players keep their gap assignments, they keep their leverage. They're not overthinking out there, but they're just reading and reacting and doing their job. One thing that really shocked me this year, since Dan Quinn has left, our defense is pretty good at stopping the run, which is very shocking to me, because you guys know I'm one of the guys that always talks about defensive line play and pass rush. And for a team that doesn't rush the passer well, which are Atlanta Falcons, we all know that we don't rush the passer well. We don't have too many elite pass rushers on this team. We only have Dante Fowler, but we don't really have that key guy, that number one guy that can rush the passer other than Dante Fowler, and he's not playing in this game. But for us not to have the elite pass rushers on this team, it's very surprising that we're one of the top teams in stopping the run. Like, we're a very good team in stopping the run. That really caught me by surprise. And I really think that it has a lot to do with Raheem Morris holding these guys accountable and basically coaching these guys to stay in their run gaps. I think these guys are doing a good job of not trying to play hero ball. The Stephen Means and the Jacob Tatui Mariners, the John Kaminsky's, the Allen Baileys. Yeah, these guys are not household names, but these guys are doing a great job of just doing their job, staying in their gaps. And we're basically rushing a passer as a unit. They're doing a good job of rushing at a unit, even though we don't have that one guy that's like that key guy or that top guy. I feel like these guys are doing a good job of rushing as a unit, which is very important, that guys don't try to play hero ball. Guys don't jump out of their rush lanes, and guys don't create holes in the running game. Because a lot of times what happens when guys try to jump out of their lanes and they dive, say like a defensive end, he jumps inside instead of keeping outside leverage. That creates space on the outside for a mobile quarterback like Taysom Hill to get out and run for a first down. So it's very important in this game that we keep our gap integrity. The guys on the outside that's playing that defensive end role, it's important that you stay on the outside shoulder of that offensive tackle. Do not try to jump inside unless it's we're playing some type of game up front where we're doing some type of twist stunt. It's very important in this game that these guys keep their gap integrity in their leverage. Do not jump inside a ton when you're rushing the passer. Make sure you stay on that outside shoulder. Make sure you keep your integrity on the outside. Do not allow Taysom Hill to get out and run, because he is one of those guys, like many mobile quarterbacks, that likes to get outside and run. So we know in the past that our Atlanta Falcons have struggled with mobile quarterbacks. Good news is I don't believe Taysom Hill is that far along in his maturation as a quarterback where he can make a ton of reads. He's a one read guy and run. So it's very important in this game that we take away, like I said, let's play some man-to-man coverage and tighten up on these guys. Let's not play a ton of zone coverage, because I don't think Taysom Hill is a guy that can throw the ball with that much accuracy, where if we're playing man-to-man tight coverage, he's going to be able to deliver the ball in a tight space. I want him to prove to us early in the game, can he make those tight area throws? We know that Drew Brees and Jameis Winston are guys that can throw the ball accurately, and they can read defenses because they've been starters in the league for a pretty long time at this point. But Taysom Hill isn't a guy that has a ton of NFL experience. So I really think that if we can tighten up the coverage in this game and keep, guys do their jobs, stay gap sound, safeties, Ricardo Allen is going to be very important. Eye discipline in this game is going to be very important. Make sure you keep your eyes where they're supposed to be. Don't be, even AJ Terrell. I know I've talked about AJ Terrell before as being one of those guys that I like, because he's very aggressive, and he's one of those guys that likes to watch the quarterback, and he likes to jump routes and stuff. It's still very imperative in this game to be very careful with your eye discipline, that you're not looking at the wrong thing, and that you don't allow guys to run by you, because we've seen that at least 2 or 3 times this year. Even though AJ Terrell has been the best corner on our team this year, and he has been the best rookie corner, Pro Football Focus have graded AJ Terrell as the best rookie corner this year, it's still very important that he be careful. He be very careful in this game, because eye discipline is very important. And in this game, he's been beat a couple times on double moves this year. I can recall at least 2 or 3 times where he's been beaten on double moves, where his eyes was in the wrong place. He was staring down the quarterback instead of watching the wide receiver, and the wide receiver was able to go in and out and get a big play. So it's very important in this game that guys keep their eye discipline, especially the safeties like Ricardo Allen that's playing that center field position. It's going to be very important that he's playing that deep third, because Taysom Hill is not like Drew Brees. He does have arm strength, and he can throw the long ball. So in this game, we don't want to give up any explosive plays and any unnecessary touchdowns if we're not doing what we're supposed to do. So in this game, the key word or the key phrase for this game for our Atlanta Falcons is do your job. Stay in your gaps if you're a defensive lineman, linebackers. If you're in coverage, stay on your guy. Don't worry too much about Taysom Hill. I would send different blitzes and stuff like that, maybe some cat blitzes and some zone blitzes at him. I'll bring that AA pressure that we've been seeing from Keanu Neal and from Afoya Aluakan and Deion Jones. I would bring pressure, but I would mix up coverages because he hasn't seen everything. So mix up the coverages, play some zone, play some man, bring some zone blitzes, bring some all-out, zero blitzes at times. Do everything to keep him off balance. Make them put Jameis Winston in the game, because I really think that we can rattle Taysom Hill if we give him a bunch of unscouted looks. So it's going to be very important in this game to give this guy unscouted looks. In my book, Taysom Hill is a rookie quarterback as far as when it comes to being a starter and being the guy that's taking all of the number 1 reps. So in this game, give him as many looks as possible. And guys, do your job. Don't try to be the hero in this game. Just play sound football, fundamental football. And if we do that, we'll win this game today. But this has been your boy Jew. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said, definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Not just on Jew Talk Sports, but also at Atlanta Falcons Nation. We are the nation, so definitely hit that subscribe button for us as well. Continue to follow us. You can follow me on Twitter at Jew Talk Sports. Also tune in this evening after the game around 4:30ish. We will be doing a post-game show, and hopefully we'll have a W to talk about, a win to talk about. But this has been your boy Jew. As always, Please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think the score will be. I predicted the score 35-21. You guys let me know what you think about the score. But this been your boy Jew signing out. I'll holler at you guys. Peace and love. And as always, Falcons Nation, rise up. I'm out.